These are knockoff Legos, and I'm using them to organize my tools. And to see if it actually works, I'm testing it on my two biggest, nicest toolboxes. And that's just one of many weird toolbox organization systems that I'll be testing, because I want to know, what's really the best way to organize a toolbox? Starting with our simplest product, Alugi, more larger size toolbox organization tray divider set black. It comes with a whole bunch of different tray sizes. You just snap them together into any configuration you want. I decided these would save the most space on shallow drawers, so I use them on my PPE drawer, the top compartment that holds lots of small stuff, and this drawer that holds some oddly shaped automotive tools. I've got to say, out of all the organization systems I'm going to show you in this video, this one is the easiest. I just cleared the drawer out, blew out the dust, dropped in the trays, and put it all back. I actually thought about not including these in the video because they aren't super unique, but they're so cheap and effective that I figured they're worth mentioning. Even after doing all three of these drawers, I still only used about half of the trays, and I've got plans for the rest of them later. I do have one bone to pick. These come in a bunch of different sizes. All nice clean numbers divisible by 3, so they should snap together perfectly, right? Well, apparently math is optional because a few of these combos leave tiny gaps where they just won't snap together. Maybe that's not a big deal to you, but when it comes to organization, there's only one word that describes me: anal. So overall, I'd give these Alugi trays the exact same review that I'd give my last Tinder date. 4 stars. They're cheap, easy, and get the job done, but they have a weird name, they're disproportionate, and my junk doesn't fit perfectly. As usual, the links to all the stuff in this video can be found down below in the description and the pinned comment. Storehouse medium and large storage containers. It's a tackle box. Old product, new idea. I've got a plan to maximize storage space and make all my hardware easier to find. I cleared out my 2 deepest drawers, took a few measurements, and bought Harbor Freight completely out of tackle boxes. Right now, 5 drawers are 100% dedicated to hardware. It seems like a waste of space, but I can't throw any of it away. I've got a deep emotional connection to my hardware. My great-great-grandson may need this large rusty bolt someday, so I'm making him a super organized hardware time capsule. The plan is simple. I'm going to use tackle boxes like files in a filing cabinet. That way I'm using 100% of the space in my deepest drawers. Add some labels and I can read it like files in a filing cabinet too. Now, instead of digging through 5 drawers of unorganized hardware, I just pull the tackle box I need and I can see everything at a glance. I turned 5 drawers of chaos into 2 drawers of bliss. 5 stars. My great-great-grandson will open this someday and think, "Bussin', Grandpa low-key cooked, no cap." Toocaa 20-watt diode laser engraver. 3D printing custom tool organizers has been done a million times on YouTube, and I get it, 3D printing is by far the most custom way to organize, but it also has a huge learning curve. So I'm bringing you something a lot easier to learn: laser cut organization. I've never seen it done before, and I had 0 experience with laser engraving before I started filming this video. It took me about an hour to put this thing together, but if I wasn't filming, I bet I could have done it in about 20 minutes. The box includes everything you need to give yourself a crash course in laser engraving. Once I got the hang of it, I set my eyes on the wrench drawer. It doesn't look too bad as is, but I want it to look excellent and save maximum space. So I measured the wrenches and went through a few different iterations of design ideas. This one didn't fit right. This one slid out of the holder when I opened and closed the drawer. I finally came up with this. It's 3 parts that I glue together. I figured the best way to save space was to hold the wrenches on their sides. Only one problem: the wrenches still slide out of the holder when I open and close the drawer. Back to the drawing board one more time. Another cool feature is that the Toocaa outlines where it's about to cut before it actually cuts, so you can adjust the material to the exact location you need it before you commit. That's important because for my final design, I switched to black acrylic, and this stuff is about $5 a piece. The final design is ready to be assembled, and this time I etched in slots for magnets. These bigger magnets hold the whole thing to the wall of the drawer, and these smaller ones hold each individual wrench in place so they won't fall out even if I slam the drawer. Now I can see all my wrench sizes at a glance, and they take up about half the space. I went ahead and repeated the process in all of my other types of wrenches, and I couldn't be happier with how the drawer turned out. I actually liked it so much that I figured why not give it a try on another drawer. I measured the handles of these nut drivers and cut some basswood to the exact shape of the drawer. Now each nut driver perfectly fits and they're all labeled. 5 stars. The coolest tool in my garage, near infinite use cases, made some of the best looking organization in my toolbox. Here's a few bonus projects that I've done since filming this. The foam that was inside of the Toocaa box. You heard that correctly. I bought some actual Kaizen foam for this video, but it was $80 for enough to do 2 drawers, and you've probably already seen that before. So when I noticed the Toocaa box came with a butt ton of foam for free, I returned the Kaizen foam to Amazon because I want to know if any foam can be used as Kaizen foam. Here's the plan. Cut it to the size of the drawer. Cover the foam with painter's tape so that I can draw on it. And then outline my tools and cut it out. The end results, meh. It doesn't cut as clean as actual Kaizen foam probably would, and it kind of comes out of the drawer when I pull a tool out, but it was free. 2 stars. It was worth a shot. Kazkoo 2-pack plier organization rack. This is the last simple one before we get into one of my favorites of the whole video. It's a plier rack. You're never gonna guess how it's used. You put your pliers in the rack. This is how much space my pliers used to take up. Spread out like this, they easily use a couple drawers worth of space, but now they all fit in one of my smallest drawers. If you do the math, every drawer on one of these big toolboxes cost you $75 to $100, and these Kazkoo plier racks are only $14 for 2. So the way I see it, you're investing $14 to buy $100 worth of space. Or if you're a Snap-on guy, you're investing $14 to buy 1 screwdriver's worth of space. 5 stars. Nice rack. Free Zone bit pegboard and accessories. This isn't one product, it's a whole suite of stuff that you can use to organize just about anything. I used it to organize my mini toolbox and again for the Doomsday tool bag, and you guys liked both of those videos a lot, so I reached out to Free Zone and they sent me enough gear to organize an entire Home Depot. I got straight to work on my biggest drawer, the socket drawer. It's not terrible right now, but these old socket holders aren't ideal. Some sockets don't have a home, and space is wasted on sizes that I don't even own. Once the drawer was cleared, I started laying out the pegboard. I wanted this to be a perfect fit, so I did some quick measurements and busted out the bandsaw. It makes quick work of it, and after a little sanding, it's a seamless fit. The next day I added magnetic feet and bolted the handles onto each pegboard so it's easy to remove. The corners of each pegboard are designed to hold the magnetic feet, but I cut off a lot of those corners. So for the cut pieces, I used JB Weld putty to hold the magnets in place. This stuff dries fast, so just mix up a little bit at a time. Before I start organizing, here's what I'm working with. We've got socket nuts for 1/4, 3/8, and 1/2 inch drives. They twist into the pegboard, then when you pull the socket, the knot stays. We've got clips that can hold just about anything. And we've got label holders so that you know what you're looking at. I spent hours playing with socket configurations. Something about this stuff just scratches that itch in the back of your brain. You cannot put it down until the job is done. To finish it off, I borrowed my mom's label maker and labeled every socket. And we've reached it. Socket Nirvana. Every group of sockets has its own removable pegboard, plenty of room to expand, completely reconfigurable, no more trips back and forth to the toolbox when I grab the wrong size. Now I just grab the whole set and take it to whatever I'm working on. Then it snaps back in tighter than Borat's swimsuit.
Wow, it's very nice.
Now that my sockets have reached enlightenment, it's time for the drill bits. Same Free Zone setup, but this time we're skipping straight to the good part. I threw away all those random cases and put the drill bits on the wall of the drawer. Zam! These hole saws still take up a lot of space, but they wouldn't sell me half saws. For the random and longer bits, I put some of those Alugi trays in the back, and all the impact sockets and driver bits found an organized home. Needless to say, 5 stars. I reached organizational enlightenment. Even after doing both of these drawers, I still didn't even use half of what FreeZone sent me, so I'm giving the rest away to 5 people who like, comment, and subscribe. US General 18-inch magnetic tool holder. I got these on sale for like $2 each. It sounds like a great deal, but before the tariffs, Harbor Freight would give you 2 of these and a tall boy just for making eye contact with the cashier. I've got some big hand tools floating around that need a home, so I took a quick measurement and used my angle grinder to cut a couple magnet strips to size. Dropped them in the drawer, and to my surprise, they didn't stick. Apparently, they're only magnetic on one side. Should have tested that first. But no big deal, nothing a few zip ties can't fix. I drilled some holes, zip tied the magnets in place, and it worked perfectly. You're probably wondering what the point of this was. Honestly, me too. I guess now my hand tools won't roll around and scratch the toolbox that I just drilled holes into, or wedge the drawer shut. But those are minor problems, as long as you just open and close the drawer gently. I think the real benefit is for you mobile mechanic guys. This is an easy, low commitment way to keep things from sliding around. 3 stars. Didn't do much for me, but some mobile mechanic somewhere just whispered, "Finally." Icon Magnetic Tool Mat. Since we're on the subject of magnets, this is the new Harbor Freight tool that the fanboys are jizzing their pants over right now. So you know I had to include it. The plan was to use it in the top drawer for my most used hand tools, basically the same concept as the magnetic strips, but as it turns out, this thing is way too awesome to be contained by a drawer. You can load it up with all the tools you need and move the whole setup wherever you're working, under the hood, on the fender, anywhere. Throwing stuff at it is genuinely fun, and it holds an unnecessary amount of weight. This is a fully loaded mini toolbox, and it's not budging. I've even seen guys in the Harbor Freight Facebook groups hanging sledgehammers off this thing. 6 stars. Too cool for the toolbox. It's also too cool for Harbor Freight shelves. They're completely sold out pretty much everywhere. I'll throw a comparable Amazon link in the description if you can't find one at Harbor Freight. Off-brand Legos. In a previous video, I organized my mini toolbox with Legos, and it was awesome. Fairly cheap, completely reconfigurable, and it looks fantastic. I figured it works so well on my mini toolbox that why not give it a try on my full-size toolbox. I cleared out my cleaning drawer and got to work. This time I upgraded from the Japanese pool saw to a bandsaw, and it's a heck of a lot easier to cut. Now that I've got a perfect fit, all that's left to do is organize. I really wanted Legos to be the star of this video, but if I'm being honest with you, after about 4 hours of messing with it, I think you're better off stepping on Legos than using them to organize a full-size toolbox. They're not cheap at all, even though I went with off-brand Legos. I spent $75 and only got 2 drawers worth. And the second drawer is a super small drawer that just holds a few hand tools. It looks pretty good, but you know what else looks good? The Death Star, and they take about the same amount of time to complete. Adding these flat pieces to finish off the mini toolbox took no time at all, but on the full-size drawers, it drug on forever. I couldn't commit to cutting the liner the way I did on the mini toolbox, so I just left it like this. 3 stars. It makes a little more financial sense and takes a lot less time on a mini toolbox. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm new to YouTube, chasing my dreams of going full-time, so every sub counts. My name is Colin, this is GritWork, and I'll catch you next time.